How's it going out there? This is the Black Effect Enterprise, and this is an episode of the Black Effect. Reparations. When do we want them? Now. Reparations. We need. This is something that the country, not only does this need to be done for black people. Reparations needs to be given for the country itself to heal America. America, the sins of the fathers is constantly following America around because they haven't done right by the group of people, by the people that they've brought over here who's helped build a country and whom they've inflicted all of this mental illness, mental terrorism, physical harm, mental harm to, financial harm to. All of those things were done in this country and tries to get swept under the rug. America tries to act like your broke uncle talking about he ain't got it, he ain't got it. Meanwhile, they shelling out money for every little small thing. Let's not forget that they paid everybody else reparations. Everybody else got some form of reparations who were done wrong over here in America, but not the group of people who was done the most wrong, who was not the group of people who were innocent in all of the doings. They didn't ask to be brought over here. It's just like your child. You having a child and now you being mad at the child for not knowing what to do or how to move. And the thing is when you start talking about reparations, you can really see who's racist, who's a racist bigot, and who's not. And we need to continue to pinpoint those people and shine a light on them. I have racist bigots under my comments all day. Mad because I'm speaking the truth for my people. Mad because, I'm speaking these things and they getting convicted by it. They convicted because, I'm talking about you. You the one of the race. You are a racist bigot, and you don't want to see black people doing good. You think that I had somebody basically tell me that black people they already got their reparations in the form of freedom. Just because you living over here, that's your reparations. Man, I'm guarantee you it's bums on the street who will beg to differ that. It's white bums, Caucasian bums, Hispanic bums that'll tell you that just being over here ain't no reward. Just being here. You understand? Being a bum, when you a bum on the street, or you struggling financially, struggling mentally, it don't matter where you are. You're still struggling. If black people had came over here in the same fashion that other immigrants did, of course they would be a lot further. They wouldn't have all of the mental anguish and hangups that they have. They wouldn't have all of the generational curses that they have. They won't have all of the wealth. They won't have the huge wealth gap that's there, because when Africans come over here, they come over here and get to it. And a lot of blacks, let's be honest, like only through God's grace and a miracle of God himself, a lot of us were allowed to went 0 to 60. We covered a lot of ground in a small amount of time with a small amount of help. Most black men they fathers couldn't go get no loans. They had to work up to that. Generational wealth matters. If you have, the more money you have, the more money you can make. The more when you don't have much money and you struggling and don't know. And let's be honest, like black people were purposely held back in this country from certain careers, certain academia, even though the first people on earth were found in Africa. Math comes from the Africans. All of these things that we taught, all of these things that black people have brought to America. Like the inventions, look up all the inventions made by black people in America. Black men becoming heart surgeons, doing all of these, showing our counterparts different things, and at the whole time having forgiveness in our heart at the same time. We kept our race alive. When you hear black women talking about black men, why you didn't do this? Why you didn't rise up and do all this? Because that would have got you killed. That would have got everybody killed. It was no force to rise up. And when men did that, look at what happened. Their own people was snitching on them. Their own people was selling them out. The bed wench, Negro bed wenches are telling Massa, you see what he doing? All of that type of stuff. You can really see that this country does have, like, racism still exists, and the undertones, and let's be honest, the people at the higher ups, the people in these fraternities, they not really so concerned with race, but they just use it as a smokescreen to be able to manipulate people and keep you riled up. And when they need to set an agenda forth, then that's when they'll throw the race card out there. But really, again, these people serve Satan. It's about good and evil, and they know that. They got to but racism is just a part of the evil that's on the earth. Racism, the tribalism, the discrimination. That's a part of the evil on the earth. Discriminating on a human being because of the color of their skin. But America, you are going to continue to pay in the form of having tragedies and all type of disasters, and it's not going to get better. You're going to go fall into more debt trying to save your money when you need to come out and help the black people, help the group of people, the descendants of the slaves, the American blacks that you've brought over here that have had to struggle with mental illness, propaganda. Look at the movie, where the Spike Lee movie, where the soldiers was fighting, the black soldiers was fighting in the war, and they had that lady over the intercom, basically mentally abusing them, but basically trying to sway them to her side, to the German side, in turn saying that they'll care about them more than America, because look, you over here fighting this war, and the white man right here, the dude who's sitting right next to you, the guy right in the war right next to you, he gonna go home. He gonna be able to go in wherever he want, get whatever job he want, provide for his family, get reverence, be able to be looked at as a man, be able to be looked at as a human, as a normal human being. You, on the other hand, not gonna be able to do that. You gonna go and still have to deal with the same type of bullshit that you fighting against here. Like, why? So for the black man, it's like, he had to make a hard decision in his life. Like, his whole life has been a series of decisions to go to the next level, because this group of people started them out. Hey man, it's no hatred, bro. And like, if you're a white person and you get offended by this stuff, then you're a racist bigot, because I'm not saying nothing wrong. This is like, you can't do people wrong and then get away with it. Like, you can't do people wrong and just sweep it under the rug. God visits the sins of the fathers on the second, third, fourth, fifth generation, until it's done, until justice is served. That's how God looks at things. He's fair. People not fair. You pull this group, or you got this group. I talk, like I said, I know I've heard this out of some Caucasian people's mouth that I've talked to, that come under my comments, constantly trolling, getting convicted by this stuff, mad because I love my people. I love everyone. I'm a child of God. These are the same people who mad that in the Bible that Jesus Christ is depicted as a dark-skinned man. They are the same people who are mad. This is the group of people who made a white version of Jesus Christ. That was propaganda and mental terrorism. You understand? That was a lie. They didn't allow black people to read. You understand? We couldn't get certain jobs. They would totally discriminate you against that. That stops you from making a certain amount of wealth. That's not you being on the same even playing field. And it's not because you're inferior. Everyone comes from us. So don't ever listen to. So the white supremacy itself is a new construct. It's a joke. I mean, even it's something that is just, it stems from human nature of wanting power. You understand? It's not the fact that they even believe that they are supreme. Because it's not true. It's a big lie. All human beings have the capacity to learn, and gain and do things and learn and go 0 to 60, man. You get your spirit right, get Jesus Christ in your life, get power by the Holy Spirit. You can jump a lot of levels in the things that you're trying to do. You'll jump a lot of levels in wisdom and intelligence Look at the men like Moses. Look at the dark skinned men. These men were look at where they were from. If you think that these were white men, you're crazy. Like, and it's like, who cares? But at the end of the day, why would you whitewash these characters? You know, these historical figures, sweeping history under the rug. That shows you something. That makes a person on the outside looking in look at you and be like, what do you have to hide? What are you trying to keep? What are you trying to defend? I mean, it's always been a fear of the black man, his seed, and him. You know, his and it's not him saying this. Like, black people include everybody. Sometimes to their own detriment, they so inclusive. So it's not them. It's not us segregating ourselves in our blackness. We didn't come up with the construct of race. This started in America. This was created by the Caucasians in America. And again, like I said, it's been a lot of mental terrorism that's went on with the black man. Propaganda. You've been fed that in movies. Just because of the nature that black people just started, only could get into films, for a lot shorter amount of time than white people were, or other races. I mean, that you didn't see black people playing prominent roles in up until 100 years ago. Up into the 70s. Even in the 70s, you had them playing these black exploitation film roles. So we just getting into being able to play on an even field. But again, still, reparations is gonna be what solidifies that. You talk about all these Black Lives Matter, you people dumping money into that. See, and this what goes to show me that a lot of groups that say they for us are actually against us. A lot of groups that say they for black people and want justice for the earth. No, y'all don't. Y'all are, because they donate, they just do all these things that waste time, and they don't want no solutions. We could have came to a solution by now. It ain't about who gonna be the leader, Ice Cube gave you a lot of good solutions on, what needs to go on for black people moving forward. This is what the country owes. You owe black people. You have a debt to your own people right now. And for those Caucasians who act like, it's unheard of to give justice to and reparations to a group of people whom you've harmed. The country's majority white still, but we know historically that's who came and conquered this land here. If you feel like that there's nothing owed, then you need to reassess yourself. And we're going to be looking at you. You understand? Because you're not a fair person. You don't want and it's like, why don't you want to see, black people get their reparations? You don't want them living in your neighborhood. That's what it is. You don't want to intermingle with them. Is that what that is? Just say that. If you're a racist, just say that. If you're a weirdo, just say that. If you're an evil human being, just say that. But people want to save face. No, if you want to show love is an action. If you want to show your love for black people and your love for the Lord and justice, reparations, man, fight for reparations. Make sure that black people get their reparations within the coming 5 years. Within the coming 5 years, there need to be a quick plan implemented, and reparations are in order. It's not like you can't figure it out. And it's not like you don't have money and things that you could do to where it wouldn't even really affect your pockets. Like, you wouldn't notice it. It's ways that it could be paid for to where you wouldn't even notice it. But it just take a little bit of thought, a little bit of effort, a little bit of want to. And I want to see more black people pushing for that. That's, instead of being a coward sitting around here trying to steal from your own people, you're scamming and stuff. You ain't got to be no scam. Nigga ain't got to be scamming. Get your reparations and build with that. Build on something. The 40 acres and a mule, that was deserved because this was a group of people, again, who gave you free labor. If you add that tally up on how many years amongst the labor, that's a lot of money. You add up, the fact that black people missed money by being held back in society purposely due to their race and stereotypes, that's a lot of money. Now look, we all know that we're not asking for an astronomical amount. We're not even worried about it. Ain't gotta be no astronomical amount. Just put out a decent figure. Put out a decent figure and a decent plan to help black people. That's all we ask. Is that too much to ask, America? Is that too much to ask, deadbeat dad? Is that too much to ask for my deadbeat dad? The white man, the first deadbeat dad. Sorry, bro, if you don't like it. Your ancestor is. Get mad at him. Don't get mad at the messenger because we were affected by all of this foolishness and hurt by it, and now and still have people looking at us sometime like it's, oh man, just pull yourself up. Why ain't you did this? It's always mental illness always pops up when it comes to other groups, but no one wants to look at the mental terrorism and the mental abuse that has been done to black people in this country. Black women suffer from it. Black men suffer from it. Black women have this complex right now where they don't feel beautiful unless they got somebody else hair on their head. They've been over sexualized from the slavery times. That's what a lot of groups of men are doing with them right now, and they feel like that's their only worth. Drugs, all these things where black men just felt like they couldn't do anything but adopt to the streets. They couldn't do anything legally and succeed. This was a thought in their mind, put into their mind. Now, like I said, every other group you felt comfortable giving them reparations. Everyone you want, even the people, the Jewish community, who we didn't have any hand in their atrocities that happened to him. And Hitler himself said that those weren't the real Jews. You go look up black Jews, look at the Jewish people who are blacker than me. Go look that up. And Hitler himself, Mr. Evil white supremacist, Hitler, he said, and he spoke the truth on this, and said that those aren't even the real Jews. Those are migrants. Now, these are facts. These are things that you could just go look up yourself. People don't want to look it up. People don't want to do the due diligence to do their own research. They just get triggered by things. Oh, I don't want to hear that. I don't like that. I don't like that you said that. No matter what you like. You know what I'm saying? We didn't like being brought over here whipped. You know what I'm saying? Being brought over here tarred and feathered. We didn't like being brought over here seeing our children stolen from us. We didn't like being brought over here and having our manhood taken from us, having to be in subjugation to another man without against our will. We didn't like that. And right now, like I said, the sins of the fathers are coming to visit America. God himself is going to do it. If you don't want to do right, this is what I'm telling America right now. Reparations are in order for the chosen people of God. Black people, the ones who you brought over here on slave ships. This was in the Bible. We were the only people who were brought over here on ships into this land. Life started, Adam and Eve were black people, started in Africa. We come for this group of people. This is a spiritual group of people. We are the ones who were chosen to bring the gospel on the earth, to be the moral compass. Now the Gentiles are grafted in. Caucasians, all other groups. Jesus Christ died to graft them into the kingdom. You understand? So Jesus Christ doesn't discriminate. Loves everybody the same. But this is the history. You can't change that. That's why you had in America, they try to rewrite history. They've done that. Tried to rewrite it, but it's not lost. They couldn't, the religion of Christianity isn't a white religion. This comes from Jesus Christ. Egypt comes from Israel, comes from Hebrews, this doesn't come from America. Like, the doctrine didn't change. If you look up the oldest text, the oldest found put together Bible, Old and New Testament, it coincides with what you're reading today. That's why they didn't want, in slavery times, they didn't want to allow you to read, because if you had read that book, learned who you were, you wouldn't, like, the revolt would have went up. The revolt would have jumped 0 to 60, and you would have actually gotten free, because you would have been convicted by the Spirit. And the Spirit, when God gets involved, that'll allow 10 men to best 100. Yes, God will go before that whole group, strike the group of men with sickness and disease. See, that's why another thing, a lot of you groups of people get a lot of diseases. Melanin powers the body to do a lot of things. It heals. Melanin is a gift from God. You understand? That's why you see people tanning, doing all of that. When you have pale skin, it's easy to get skin cancer, skin tags, all of these things. But that's not enough. Just because I love my people, don't mean I hate everyone else or look at them any different. No, my people are the ones who have been victimized. You don't get to come to me and come to us and be like, why you acting like that? Why are you talking about this? Why are you hurting? Damn, like, come on, man. Are you human or not? America, unless you do right by the chosen people of God, black people that you brought over here as slaves, it's going to be like the Exodus. It's going to be like Pharaoh and Moses. And Lord ain't got time. The Lord ain't finna be waiting. He ain't on your time, bro. The Lord is saying it's the time, like, and I'm not talking about time as on a clock. I mean the perfect point in the universe and in time and space. This is why this is the time. It's now to give reparations to the chosen people of God, black men and women. Yes. You've wasted money in all of these other groups, the NAACP, the Black Lives Matter, all these stupid groups. You've wasted money into throwing at solutions that don't matter. Just go ahead and do right and let black people do what they will with their reparations, so you can wipe your hands of it and you will be innocent. America will be innocent, and it will start. It doesn't matter what the black people do with it. Even if the majority of them squandered it, you will be clean, and there will be a huge healing that comes amongst the nations. You would heal the nation in doing that. And then the Lord will relent his punishments that's coming to America. And I ain't talking about Eddie Murphy. So with that being said, I'll speak more on that, on the punishments and things like that, if, nothing changes. But don't be a hypocrite, America. In God we trust is on the money. Well, trust God and do right by people. Love thy neighbor. That is a commandment from the Lord. The Lord tells you that's a mandate. He said Jesus Christ told you that that's the second most important thing that you could do. So you need to do right by black people. Don't just be talking about why you hurting, why you doing it, why all this stuff going on. Why you relegated to the ghettos, and you don't understand because you ain't never went through this type of stuff. Your family had generational wealth. That's how businesses and corporations are maintained. It ain't maintained from a dude working a 9 to 5 and then saving his money. You know what I'm saying? That's just not how that works. We learn it now. You get to become a billionaire and stuff like that. Like I said, now we have black billionaires, but that's because that's a miracle through God to allow you to jump 0 to 60. And a lot of the things that they've done, they're not proud of. You understand? But reparations are in order. The time is now. Stop wasting time. Reparations, do right by black people, man. With that being said, this is Nico B, Black Effect Enterprise. I'm gone.